Hi everyone, welcome to Bayonetta 2, a game that I like a lot. I'm a little nervous. This game, this is a kind of technical run, but you know what? We're gonna stick through it. We're gonna have fun. There's gonna be some deaths. I'm not gonna lie. There will be some, but we're gonna have a good time. Space Cats, why don't you introduce yourself? You're gonna be hosting for this run.
Hi, I'm Space Cats United. I've never hosted before, so this is gonna be a time.
We're gonna have a great time.
And of course, I am the restreamer Demarine. I'll be chiming in at points as well because I've played this game once.
Well, I think it's time to let's get started. Because I am a smart person, I decided to submit a third climax, which, if you're not familiar with this game, is hard. The second hardest difficulty after Nonstop Infinite Climax, which is absurd. So we're gonna play on hard. So yeah, it's the start of the run. So what we're gonna get into right away is there's this intro sequence where we beat up a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna try to skip cutscenes that you can't skip. That's gonna happen. There's a lot of cutscenes in this game that I skip, and it's hard to remember which ones because sometimes at different points. I did it twice in one cutscene. But anyway, Bayonetta 2 is the sequel to Bayonetta 1. What happened in Bayonetta 1? I am not going to try to explain to you Bayonetta 1's plot or Bayonetta's 2 plot. These games are a lot with a lot of surprisingly very confusing plots. I will go over the briefest of explanation as to what's going on here. This is probably one of our closest. This is a mature rated game, and it shows. So be aware of that. So this intro segment is kind of, there's no health, there's no really anything. It's mostly just on a timer. We're given some exposition, kind of, about what kind of hat we learned in the first game, sort of, in very, very vague terms that won't help you if you haven't played this game. So don't worry about it. I'm not even going to attempt. But you are going to see what I'm basically going to be doing for a lot of the run, which is this specific combo. So we have a punch button. I did it again. We have a punch button, we have a kick button, we have a shoot button. Say hello to this mech. We're not going to see this mech for a while after this, but boy, do we love the mech. Pretty simple stuff. Anyway, Bayonetta is an Umbran witch, which basically means that she uses her body hair to fight things with magic, and can like turn it into a monster thing. Don't worry too much about that. You'll see it a bunch. In the first game, we fought a lot of the forces of heaven. We're doing that right here in this intro segment. Anyway, there's a lot of really ridiculous action because Platinum, which is the developer of this game, if you're not familiar with Platinum Games, I highly recommend just checking out their like litany of work. They pretty much exclusively make things this ridiculous. Bayonetta 1 and 2 are my personal favorites, and I think a pretty agreed upon personal favorites. So yeah, we're just gonna fight this thing while the intro text goes over it. None of this really matters all that much. I am doing the basic combo I will be doing throughout the game. Most of what I'm going to be doing with this set of weapons anyway, there will be a couple other sets of weapons that are that we'll get into over time. But it's going to be punch, kick, kick. So a lot of chains end with a And with a Wicked Weave attack, where, like, Madam Butterfly comes out, and you get, like, this big monster, Punch Kick Kick is a great way to get a fast one out of that. We're also, if you hold down the button after an attack, you get some gunshots in, which is great for both extending your combo, which is absurdly important for reasons I'll get into. Anyway, we now get to look at all the buttons. But extending combo is really important because that's going to affect our score. And you might not think that score is very important, but you'd be super wrong. Because we basically keeping up a chain will get us money, which is rings, because this game was published by Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog. So we care a lot about that stuff. Anyway, if you so we have a dodge. If you've ever played Smash, you might know that Bayonetta's dodge at perfect time activates Witch Time, which lets us move around for free. It also gives us a Moon Pearl, which I'll get into a little bit too. Anyway, I'm going to be very careful to keep up my combo. It's kind of difficult, and I will mess it up sometimes. The other thing I need to make sure to do is when it's safe to, I want to be taunting enemies. You get bonus points if you hit taunted enemies, which, as I just explained, is very, very important. I'm going to need about 650,000 rings throughout the course of this run, and that first 150,000 I want as soon as possible. So I'm going to be taunting enemies and stuff when it's safe to. I'm also going to be shooting enemies as soon as they spawn when I can, if I have an opportunity. This will let me keep that chain up. Notice that multiplier. That's the most important thing here. Anyway, when I get enough Moon Pearls, which is that second meter under my health, basically every one of my attacks turns into a Wicked Weave, and I can do a lot of damage. And so whenever I do a Wicked Weave, I get a Moon Pearl. Okay, that's not skippable. We also have these little... Anyway, we're going to taunt. Didn't take. Taunting doesn't always take. Ooh, I really don't want to die here, so be careful of that. So this one tends to drop a green laurel, which restores some health, so I just need to be a little careful. Okay, you always... Okay, thank God. I got that very close, but we're fine. Really don't want to die in the first fight of the game. Although it is actually a fairly... This fight is actually kind of deceptive. The game actually gets a little easier as we go on, once we can buy some of the things we want. Because right now, I'm kind of just using generic equipment. That being said, though, I really, really want to keep this chain up as long as possible to snipe those sweet, sweet rings. Fortunately, taking hits does not break your chain. The only thing that breaks your chain is going too long without it. I'm not taunting anything because I can't take the risk. Thank God, another green laurel. Those are semi-random. There's some things that are guaranteed to drop them. Sometimes they can drop randomly. Sometimes they drop effectively randomly. They can also just be in objects around the arena that you'll only break randomly because there's a lot of them. Alright, that was, Anyway, we've now had our plane sliced into mini plane bits. Now we get to jump across some planes because this game is awesome. Alright, so we made it through that first segment pretty well. I took a lot of damage, which sucked, but, it is what it is. Anyway, we now have our first boss. This boss has two phases. So the first half is this clinging to a train bit. Notice how many halos I was able to get from that good early first segment. Anyway, the first part, we're clinging to this train. When it's far away, I can't hit with attacks, but I can shoot with gun to maintain chain. I'm also going to be stepping through the pieces of my combo because my Wicked Weave is ranged. So instead of just holding down the gun button to shoot guns, I will be just doing combo bits. When we get to half health, so that's about here, we get this cutscene, and the second half of this fight is just a big arena. It's a lot easier. Green Laurel spawns. We're gonna beat up, didn't drop combo, so we're gonna beat up this jerk. Not too hard of a fight. I could punish here for some damage and a torture attack bonus, but it's a lot slower than just not punishing. Anyway, John's here to help. That's our rival from the first game, John. I hope nothing bad happens to her. Anyway, now we get this cool climax scene where I get to mash.
And of course you want to mash, because that's how you get more Halos.
Yep. It's not like the most significant source of Halo, but like never underestimate the extra like 1,000 to 2,000 Halos you get from these things.
If it is the difference between getting an ability early and not getting an ability on time, it's very bad.
Yes. Yeah. There's 3 things I want to get as soon as possible, and the longer I have to wait, the harder this game becomes. And, like, the early game can be miserable. There's also a skip I can't do if I can't get a certain thing before Chapter 4. Well, you technically can do it, but it becomes a lot harder. And I probably will mess it up if I have to do that. But I'm not worried, because this is actually... No, I shouldn't say that. I'll mess up the run. This run is not going really well so far. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we now get to fight... I'm not even going to explain what this dragon is. Don't worry about it. But it's related to us, and I said I would. And it kind of killed John a little bit.
Everything comes from Heck.
Except for the stuff that comes from anti-Heck, which is a worse place than Heck, but not by much.
They're both pretty awful, but at least you can get a good drink in Heck.
At least Heck isn't snooty about it. Also, there's 2 naughty words in this run, and I can't get around, and I apologize for those in advance. Anyway, we're just gonna keep doing our 3-hit combo. Just gonna keep not dropping our chain. Try not to get smacked by the tail. Okay, I did get smacked by the tail twice there, but... Oof, okay, well, let's try not to get hit again, because it's my last health. That's not a... that doesn't count. Don't... We're not taking away my 10,000 Halos. Come on, come on. Alright, we're good. We're good. Now it's just the climax. Whew, I played that close, but we're good.
I think a thing worth noting is that truly in Bayonetta, the run can just fall apart at literally any moment.
Yes. But that was a great prologue, and as a result, the whole game gets easier. Bad prologues are awful for this run. Could have sworn that one was skippable. Nope. Man, I could have sworn that got skippable somewhere in there. That's fine. That's a really good amount of Halos to have coming out of the prologue. Ideally, I would have gotten a few more taunts in there if I could have. I also get some... I think I get a platinum here. Yeah, that's good for a couple extra Halos. Am I able to get my first item after prologue? Oh no, I haven't even unlocked. I haven't even unlocked the shop yet. But yeah, there's a total of 4 things we need to buy, and then I'm gonna spend the rest of my money on health restoratives and like temporary invincibility and stuff. But those 5 things. So there's are pretty important. So there's this big, beautiful area that we're not going to look at here. So the reason we don't look at this place is because frame drops. On the Wii U version of the game, it mattered a lot more. But the frame rate is still inconsistent. It's one of those games that prioritizes, aesthetic over frames. So the quality will never dynamically drop. Instead, the game will dynamically drop frames, which is bad for us as speedrunners. We're going to skip that book because we don't want the tooltip. And we're up to our first skip in the game that we can do thanks to our old friend Water. And also, I can't turn into a panther and run over here, so no running here. But what I can do is I'm going to do a double jump here. Try not to mess this up. I'm going to just... I messed it up.
Yeah, so you're trying to avoid a combat area there by just clipping the edge of it.
Wow. I did not miss that one a single time in practice. It's okay, though. We'll call them marathon safety rings. Plus, I'm already over 100,000. I get an extra Mandragora right there. Those little items are for constructing, or for making items. They're not actually that important outside of marathon runs. But this is a marathon run, and I want all of them. There's 3 different colors of them, and all of them are important. So I'm also gonna, okay, I already picked it up.
Yeah, what is it? It's green, red, and yellow? I forget.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, so, each one has a different effect. Green lets you restore health, which is good in a marathon for obvious reasons. Yellow is temporary and vulnerability, which is also good. And, red is temporary attack up, which, surprise, surprise, good. You can also use a little bit of each to make a magic restoring one, which lets you just use moon pearls over and over again, which is very, very useful at the end when let's just say towards the end of the game, our Umbran Climax, which is very useful right now, is going to turn into something far, far more useful.
So why is it that everywhere Bayonetta goes, wanton destruction follows?
Mostly because the forces of heaven are always chasing after her, and in this game, the forces of hell are also kind of not happy with her either.
That's
It's a
legitimate.
long story. We're kind of just trying to walk into hell right now and take John back, which has nobody happy with us.
You mean breaking the rules of life and death makes nobody happy?
Anyway, yeah, you see this massive destruction I'm causing right now? We're going to replace that with something better later. But don't worry about that. That's not till almost the end of the run. So I'm being a little... I'm being like a little wishy-washy on making sure to pick up taunt enemies here. It's not actually all that important because of how well our prologue went. But I still... So I'm not taunting as much, but I still want to be keeping my combo up because I still need a lot more halos than this. It's and when we have a lot of little enemies, right now it kind of sucks, but later in the game, and by later I mean very, very shortly, we'll have a way to deal with big crowds of these little guys very quickly. Hello. Hello, free lollipop bit. So these records unlock weapons, and there's only 2 weapons in the game we care about, and it just so happens that this is one of them. So this one's going to give us swords, and funnily enough, the swords are the weakest item in the game, and we're not going to replace our normal stuff with them. But there is one fringe scenario where the swords are worth it. We also have to go to a shop to retrieve them. You don't have to pay for them, but you do have to go get them.
There's lore behind that too, though. Rodon just really likes music.
Yeah, Rodon's the shopkeep, and also a mysterious figure that's suspiciously very powerful. And there's more to it than that, but play the game. I'm gonna get something wrong. I don't even remember the name of the annoying boy you have to escort around all game this game. So I'm not gonna remember all that. No. Oh, I dropped my chain. That's okay. That was my first chain drop all run, which is a lot better than normal.
And on this particular fight, it's not the most damaging thing, certainly, because it's not very long.
No, and unlike the other game I ran in this marathon, and the one Demarine was here for, dropping a chain does nothing to impact my damage. No, I'm very happy with how things are going so far. Loki, thank you. I forgot Loki's name. The worst part is I did like 4 practice runs and I skipped all the cutscenes and I never remembered Loki's name. Anyway, we're about to meet Loki. There's a free... Again, this is one of those marathon safety things. There's a free lollipop in here. It's a good one. And I'm on like no health, so I'm just going to eat a lollipop. Dying is not all that punishing, but I still don't want to do it. Anyway, this fight is really annoying, just because I sometimes take a death here just because of that first one. That first one that charges at you, just like can instantly kill you if you're not paying attention. I'm actually surprised I haven't died yet this one.
Yeah, the options to actually...
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that hurts.
No, I'm not dead. I'm not dead, but...
The options to hit more than one thing at a time in Bayonetta are exceedingly limited.
Yep, that's why we want those swords as a spoiler alert. Is the sword has one thing you can do with them that's great for those tiny enemies. Anyway, hello, Laurel. And, like, mistakes compound in this game is the problem. Like, if I die, I don't get bonuses at the end of the level, and that means fewer halos, and that's just all around a bad time.
Language, Bayonetta. She said a bad
Yeah, by the
word.
way, this small child is responsible for all of the unskippable bad words.
You saved me. I'll show you around this joint. Heading to Fimbulventer, aren't we? That makes 2 of us. And it'll take 2 of us, won't it, love?
Just remember, 2 swear words in 3 hours is still PG-13. It's fine.
Now, here's another thing that if I was doing world record attempts, I probably wouldn't pick up. That's our concocting table. It lets us mix items, which is a slow process, and that had a bunch of ingredients in it, which is a slow process, but also for some of our final bosses, a very, very important one. Anyway, there's a free yellow lollipop in here. Yellow is temporary invincibility, so that's good. We're going to pick that up. This sword thing can be pretty annoying sometimes. It just has really fast attacks that are hard to dodge. So we're going to beat these things up, and then these ones are going to spawn, and guess who's got this? So we're going to beat up these things. They go down pretty easy. Still don't have my swords yet, which is kind of unfortunate. As an irony, the most useful applications of the sword are all in this chapter before you can actually go pick it up. Ain't that how life is sometimes?
It just gotta be that way sometimes. It just gotta...
Now, unfortunately, this cutscene means I can't maintain chain through it. So it means that I can't carry it between these 2 things. So you may notice I don't hold down my guns for when I have a Wicked Weave up. That's just because it's not worth it, because that's on a timer. And these do more damage, especially when Wicked Weave is up. By the way, you may notice that blue bar, that's Loki's health. I have literally never died to Loki running out of health, either casually or in a speed run. Don't die. Don't die. Oh. That was not a great death.
Yeah, it'll take you back to the top of the fight, which is not where you want to be.
No. But honestly, I'm pretty happy that we've gone 23 minutes without a death.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be too sad about that.
Yep.
Pick up this yellow lollipop again, which I probably should have just used once I'd hit. So something this game does that I really appreciate. oh my god, is your last pixel is always a hit. So long as you don't only have one pixel hit left. Oh god, this thing. All right, fine, we'll use this. So this thing is so what was I saying? Anyway, you know you're not gonna run out of health. Wicked Weaves are also good for taking care of these things, just because they have a lot more range. I want to get rid of the big ones first, just because they have really annoying attacks that rush across the screen and can just blindside you if you're not paying attention. Not actually a speed reason, just a, God, they can get annoying reason.
Enemies that have reach in this, of course, can just sort of kill you out of the blue from behind when you're not looking at them, and you don't want that.
Well, I got literally the exact same amount of points that time, which I find funny. Hey, if people donate to this marathon, do you think it'll translate into rings for me?
It seems likely. I mean, the more donations that we get, the better off we are, right?
We're close to 9K.
We are
we
so
might have
close
hit
to 9K.
And,
We are just $50 away, I think.
let's get those 9K. But while I'm redoing this, why don't we talk about, why don't you tell us about some of those donation incentives coming up and some stuff about the charity? And if you have any donations.
I can do that. We don't currently have any new donations, but we do still have a lot of goals that are happening, and if you want to be part of that, we have upgrading difficulty for 8-Bit Hero, which sounds like fun. And we've got some bid wars happening for naming some characters in Dragon Warrior 4, so if that's up your alley, feel free.
By the way, when we hit $9,001, I will do my Vegeta impression, and I will note that I actually have a pretty good Vegeta impression. Not to brag, but I am pretty good at that one. Because that meme didn't die like 20 years ago.
That meme is never gonna die, and I'm actually here for it. It's one of those rare memes that I'm here for.
For some reason, I can't figure it out. I absolutely adore Dragon Ball Z. And I don't think I like any individual piece of Dragon Ball Z, but I love everything about Dragon Ball Z.
So, have we mentioned that Bayonetta's a little bit over the top as we're fighting a monster that's ripped off the side of a building and we are riding on the side of it?
Yeah, as we're falling. This fight's actually one of the easier ones, although I am on low health, which does worry me, but this monster has really... See, these really slow, predictable attacks are nice because what they let me do is enter... which lets me dodge a lot, which lets me enter slow-mo where I have time to wail on the boss, which is always great. Plus, oh, I did get hit one. Well, whatever. No pure platinums. I was one hit away from pure platinum. So there's a scoring mechanic in this game. If you're not playing this game for speed, in fact, if you're playing this game and you're not on your first playthrough, you're probably trying to get all pure platinums. Basically what that involves is beating the boss quickly, taking no hits, and having good combo. We care about 2 of those 3 things in this run.
Yeah, then we're gonna see the end of chapter bonus here is
So
gonna
even-
be real low. It's gonna...
Yeah. You also get deductions for each death, so we only got a bronze. We also skipped a lot of fights. There's a lot of optional ones here. Anyway, we can now go to the store. And normally I don't get to go to the store in runs at this point, but I actually do this time because of how much money we have. And that makes me happy. So, do you like Bayonetta's cool outfit and design? Because you're not going to see it anymore. So first thing is that we get the swords, which I will equip on my alt weapon set. You have 2 weapon sets, so Swords are going to be my alternate ones. They're for very limited situations. But I'm also going to buy a couple things here. The first is the Super Mirror 64-2. And what that does will become apparent very, very shortly. The other is I have enough money to buy Bat Within. Bat Within isn't actually a requirement for the speedrun, but this game gets so much easier once you have Bat Within. So the first thing we're going to do is go into the menu and equip that stuff that I just got. So we're going to, in our alt weapon set, put on the sword. Then we're going to go and... Yep, we're playing the rest of the game in a Star Fox cosplay. The Star Fox cosplay is the reason the Switch version is the fastest, by the way. So what's good about the Star Fox cosplay is that it fires twice as many bullets from holding down your buttons.
That's not even fair.
It's absurdly good.
I'd like to pop in with a read from a donation.
Absolutely,
From
go ahead.
Schlaw Kitty. We have, oh hey, we still needed this dollar so we could fight Duck Vader, so here we go.
Thanks, Scala. So something that you'll notice here is that this enemy in the middle I'm just ignoring, and this thing is actually our friend. So what this one does is that it enrages all the other enemies, which is supposed to be a bad thing because because you know, enraged enemies attack faster, they're a lot harder to kill, they do more damage. But remember how we're enraging enemies for more rings? So they just do our job for us and make the game easier. So thanks. Thanks, dummy. Pure platinum metal. Enter Witch Time by dodging an attack, and we can walk on water.
Where did you learn that trick, little one? I've never seen a witch. Or a
So we get this little walkie scene.
pull off something like that.
Just look at this costume.
You think I'm just...
I just want to take a minute to admire it. Just look at this thing. The little R wings attached to the boots, the headset. I love it.
It seems.
Yep, this is true class right here, everybody.
I got nothing
I'd say I want these heels in real life, but I would just fall down. Look how tall they are.
I like my ankles a little bit too much for those heels.
So here we have these hammer things. These hammer things are annoying. Now, that ability I bought is called Bat Within, and basically what it lets me do is if I press evade just as being hit, it lets me enter Witch Time as if I had dodged properly. Anyway, we're gonna ride this one and hit the other. Anyway, that makes dodging attacks substantially easier. If you're wondering, no, this isn't faster, but I was almost dead. So I wanted to take the safe route.
Yeah, it's pretty odd in Bayonetta that usually the things that are most stylish are also usually the slowest.
Yeah, almost enemies drop weapons, and almost all of the enemy weapons are way too slow to be useful. If I'm in a pinch, they're very powerful, so I might pick them up. Oh no, no. Okay, good, just in time. Would not have worked if I hadn't had Bat Within, but hey, that's why we bought it. There's actually one more ability. There's only 2 proper abilities I need to buy, that's one of them. And I'm going to... The other ability isn't going to matter in the next chapter, although I'd be surprised if I can't afford it, because it's only 20,000. But it becomes a requirement later on. But it's not for combat. It just makes a bunch of skips possible, so, you know, I don't care about it until it's time to do those skips. The first one's in Chapter 4, by the way, so I want it by then. This game really doesn't have all that many skips, but it does have some cool ones. Plus, I run this one over Bayonetta 1. Bayonetta 1 is a much glitchier, much more skip-filled game, but, like, Bayonetta has super fun combat. I don't want to skip it.
Yeah, and Bayonetta 1 has grace and glory.
I would say that Bayonetta 1, if you're playing casually, is the overall better game. This game has a lot improved mechanics, but there's a few small tweaks they made to this game that kind of make it a little less fun when you get to the point where you're grinding for your pure platinum. Not grinding as in speedrun, but grinding for points, which is the way most people play this. It also just like it's like ridiculous cutscene stuff is way more ridiculous, and that is fun. There's a scene where you ride a motorcycle up a missile in order to get yourself into space so you can rip out God's eye. So that's the level. Anyway, we're gonna come back in here, and we're gonna get Crow Within, and we are not coming back to this shop until after Chapter 9. Also, I always forget. Someone please remind me to come back to the shop as soon as Chapter 9 ends. I have yet to remember in a run to do that, and it's very costly time-wise if you forget.
Hey, Hex, don't forget to go back to the shop after Chapter 9.
I always forget. The earliest I've remembered is after Chapter 10 going, oh no! So one annoyance to the Bayonetta costume, or the Star Fox costume here, is that I have to fire the gun at this boss a lot. And that actually makes this boss a lot easier, because I can do a lot more damage during this part, where you can't really do anything to the boss. But this will make the later phase easier. But the reason this is more annoying is because when you have the default costume, you can do what you can just hold down the shoot button, and you'll keep shooting your guns. So that's all good. But with the Star Fox costume, it has a gimmick where it turns into a lock-on because Star Fox. And the problem with that is that you can't is that you have to mash the button instead. Which still does twice as many shots as holding down the regular gun button. But you gotta mash instead of just getting a nice, relaxing, cozy holding. You don't have to mash that hard, but you do have to just keep pressing the button. You'll notice that while the thing's off screen, I will just do a charge. Charges are just less damage, but if the boss isn't here, why hold, like, I might as well get the charge. The charge won't even wind up hitting, by the way. It's also really important to dodge that, just because you get to beat up the face a little bit here. It's not actually that important, because this is a timed phase, it's not for damage dealing. But this is the same health bar you get in the non-timed phase, so, I say it's very important. What I mean is that it's slightly important, and we have nothing better to do. There's another phase of this water tunnel, so we have time to... why don't we hear about some of those prizes? I hear there's some good ones today.
Yes, I can jump into the prizes right after I read these 2 donations.
Ooh, donations.
From Leggy, we have, do a barrel roll, use the boost to get through. Okay, but seriously, good luck. Which I agree with. Like, I think a couple of times just a little barrel roll would just...
I'm doing barrel rolls constantly, look at me. All I'm doing is rolling.
You're rolling spectacularly. I'm almost getting dizzy. And from Margaret Ann, we have a lovely poem. I will do my best to do it.
Thank you. Margaret Ann's been writing poems for donations, and it's been wonderful.
Alright, here we go. I once knew a girl with some hair, which she used to fly through the air. Her game had a plot, yeah, that's what I thought, but Bayonetta fought monsters with flair. Honestly, that's a really good poem. I like it. It's got that... It's meter? I think that's what it's called. It's got good meter.
This is some of the most damage I've ever done to it. This is like one of the best first phases of this fight. I actually did half the health bar in the auto-scroller segment, where you don't get to hit it. So I'm pretty happy about that. Let's try not to die in the second segment, though. There are checkpoints, by the way. This game is great with mid-fight checkpoints, but I would lose this delicious multiplier. Anyway, now we're on to phase 2. This is where things get, like, a lot less auto-scrollery. I mean, I guess we're still in an auto-scroller, but, oof. Worst case, I'll brew up a potion. We're still in an auto-scroller here, but, this time it's an actual fight, so we're going to take out these 2 side ones before we get back to the main boss. Just going to make sure to dodge. Hitting witch time here is pretty important because it lets you into these, it kind of lets you get in more segments to beat these things up. Anyway, these things go down really fast if you manage to get the Star Fox costume by this point. Because the double guns is huge for this fight. But yeah, now we're back to the main one. This is actually going to be one of the health bar is going to come back just to where it was. So we're going to get... So something you'll notice is that I'm, there's that big attack with the arms. Which you don't actually get to enter witch time until it's all done. I'm also going to wait to use my Umbran Climax until I can get close to the boss, so I don't just waste it. I got to use most of it, so it was worth it.
Oh, hey Hex, I have to cut you off real quick.
Ooh, did we hit 9K?
We did. Would you like to do your Vegeta impression first, or should I read this donation?
No, read the donation and tell me the exact total.
Alright, so of the donation, or where we are right now?
Do the donation and then tell me what the total is.
Okay, so the donations is from Professor Ness. Okay, need to sleep soon, so let's simplify things. 8-bit hero trainer body cam was always intended, so here you go. The only word you need to know for the other 2 8-bit hero incentives is jump squats. If you want a chance to see player IRL jump squats, get the exciting difficulty met. If you want to see my best Dan impression after the main run, and possibly bonus jump squats, unlock Chaos Mode. Simple enough? And we got a second donation from someone else just a few seconds ago, from Kessenju, and the comment is, let's hear this Vegeta impression. Cheers from Brazil. Donation goes to the runner. And our exact total right now is $9,182.
Okay, so what's our overall total then? I might have just missed that. I was busy slicing up 40 things.
Is $9,182.
I hate to do this, but I am gonna just do this skip real quick before I do it, just so that I can focus. Real simple skip. There's a fight on that bridge, so don't go on the bridge. Without the bird form, you can still do that. But you have to do this really precise jump onto the bridge and then jump off without triggering the fight, which is really tough. So it's a lot better if you don't. Anyway, someone asked me, someone lead me into the meme.
Alright, give me a second here. I'll get you set up. I need a drink of water first, though, to do this, because I need to get a little bit raspier. Vegeta! What does the scouter say about his power level?
It's over 9,000!
What, 9,000?
Kakarot! I will destroy you, Kakarot! I am the prince of all Umbran witches!
I'm glad I'm in here for that. Thank you.
You're glad? You won't be so glad when I destroy your entire planet!
Hex, I love you!
The one thing I do is just do impressions of like children's anime rivals. I love children's anime rivals so much.
I mean, they have the best energy. Like, Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just like, I always just want to be like, Kaiba!
Yugi, did you seriously think that you could defeat me with your pathetic deck? You mean that?
This is just fantastic. Everything is fantastic.
Or who could forget, you know, who can forget my personal third favorite after those two of, "Heh, smell you later, loser."
It's
I'm not as good
okay.
at that one.
My Pikachu will totally own you one day.
Yeah, right. I accumulated 10 of the 8 gym badges. That totally just branched off into Mandark at some point.
I was coming in here to be Yugi, but somehow I ended up Ash.
Alright, I'm gonna take an intentional death here because I'm on 1 health before this very tough fight, so...
Wait,
We're just gonna get that health back.
Wait, is this mysterious white-robed figure?
This is Mysterious White Robe Figure, fight 1 of 7. These fights are all really tough, so, if you've ever played a game in this genre, which is a subgenre, or of this subgenre, which is specifically the type of action game that kind of relies on stylish combos and whatnot, and scoring systems, known as character action. The most fun fights in these games are always the one-on-one fights against an opponent your size that has a similar moveset to yours. Bayonetta knew this, or Bayonetta had a bunch of fights against John, which were the highlights of the game. Bayonetta 2 knew... Oh god. Okay, good. When he glows like that, if you don't hit him fast, you just take 1,000,000 damage. And I wasn't set up well to do it, but I managed it. And by hit him, I don't mean once, I mean 4 enough damage.
Yep.
But anyway, so the best parts of these games, if you ever played Devil May Cry, it would be the fight against it'd be the fights against Virgil. If you've ever played I'm blanking on other games. If you'd ever played at the Wonderful 101, it would be the fights against the rival squad. If you've ever played Nier Automata, which is tentatively in this genre, it would be the early fights against A2 as 2D. Or Eve, or Adam, for that matter. Bayonetta 2 was well aware that this was the case, so they put a lot of them in this game. Something for these fights specifically, which are some of the hardest, the Star Fox costume is an absolute godsend. Because the extra bullets make it a lot easier to stun enemies down, which is the only way in these type of fights you can get your big combos off on them.
Yeah, the very powerful enemies in the Bayonetta games are very notorious for just not being able to get hit by full combos. And of course, as a string of attacks goes on, the harder hitting attacks, of course, are at the back end of it. So you need to sort of keep the enemy locked down a little bit to get into those 4th and 5th and 6th hits.
Drop my chain. He also shields pretty frequently, which is very annoying. My big attack would my Wicked Weave hits through that because it kind of goes behind it. Anyway, it's time for Rock'em Sock'em Robots! This is really simple. You just punch the face a bunch and dodge the fist. But it's fun, and I love that this is just in here. If you like that, Wonderful 101 has a much more extended, much harder Rock'em Sock'em Robot fight in the middle of the game. Prince Forkin, thank you. I'm terrible at names, as you can tell by the fact that I forgot Loki's name and didn't bother to look it up until someone told me in chat. Anyway, Bayonetta 2 has a lot of those one-on-one fights, and I can't even say they overplayed it because they never stop being fun. They're good. So here we go. Next chapter. God. Something about speedrunning this is that you just kind of watch the, Anyway, we've unlocked our underwater dash. And we get to mash B whenever we're underwater to dash, because I don't know why you can't just hold down the button. So there's an extra lollipop here we're gonna go pick up for safety. I'm just gonna let y'all know if there's a lollipop of any type anywhere in this run that's not super out of the way and doesn't require extra fights, I will go pick it up because marathon runs and because of especially the last boss. I'm going to be like munching down on lollipops constantly for that final fight. Anyway, the swimming controls are a little awkward, as you may be able to tell when you do this. You may notice that little tooltip. Move using left stick and right stick. And I need to be mashing B. So it's a little awkward to do it. It's not actually bad when you're not trying to speedrun. That chest has a moon pearl in it. We don't care. That upgrades our max magic. And I don't want those because I'm not going to get enough to even make a difference. So we're going to spin this thingy, and we're going to get a mini-boss. I don't know if this one actually counts as a mini-boss. What the game does and does not count as a mini-boss is kind of arbitrary. The main bosses are obvious, but some things count as mini-bosses when fought solo. Some of them are just tough enemies. But we have this thing. I don't remember if this actually counts as a mini-boss. You'll be able to tell, as a fun fact, by if I get the boss bonus after killing it. You get free rings for killing a boss. And yes, I know they're halos, but I'm not going to stop calling them rings because Sega published this. That's the whole reason.
I'm gonna pop in with a donation real quick.
Absolutely.
From Warsaw5, we have a $5 donation that says, "Greetings from the Bayonetta speedrunning Discord. Good luck with the run."
Warsaw is great at this game. A lot better than I am. Warsaw's the one who wrote like all the tutorials and stuff and like made all of the really good community resources. And you should go check Warsaw's channel out and stuff and make sure to follow.
Also, it was a runner's choice donation, apparently. So is there anything that you would like it to go to?
You know what? We have this big sequence where water fills the chamber and I don't get to do anything. So why don't we use this to hear about some of the upcoming disincentives so I can decide wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That is such a good idea. So we still have the 8-bit hero trainer stuff. Upgrade exciting to difficulty. We're $80 away from that goal. Chaos difficulty showcase is still wanting a little bit of help. So if you want to throw some money at that, feel free. And La Mulana has a Save Amy goal, which is about almost halfway. I don't know much about that game, but saving people always sounds fun.
What about the bid wars, though? What if I like those?
I spent 500 years not knowing who I was. I found out
I did not catch that. I'm sorry.
What about the bid wars, though? Like, what if I like to fight people?
If you like fighting people, then the Dragon Warrior 4 randomizer name characters are still happening. We have naming Ragnar's Honk, Naming Alina is SYL. Naming Christo's Nico. Naming Nara is honk with 2 exclamation marks. And naming Bray is honk in all caps. And you can still name Mara or Taloon. And in La Place Nama, you can name the main character.
Well, you know, there are a lot of really good options, and I frankly want to do all of them, but, and I want to name all the things, I frankly want to name all the things, just name them after Loki, as penance for forgetting his name.
I can arrange that.
But you know what? I think my heart's got to go with that, I think my heart has to go with that, those 8-bit hero trainer incentives, because RPG Chick, I don't really know a lot about them in pure honesty, but I know RPG Chick said they were amazing, and I want to, and if RPG Chick says they're amazing and that I want to see them, then I want to see them.
We can do that.
Also, we should do something. I don't know what to do, if we reach 10k during this run, which could happen, because we're getting close. But if people want to donate in with like suggestions of what you want, of like what we can do for 10k, like maybe we'll pick one.
Oh yeah.
I won't promise because I don't know what people will suggest, but maybe we will if there's a good one.
Yeah, if there's a good one that you can get Hex and myself to do, you know, we could fake it. We might not be good at it.
Yeah, I mean, like we can do like.
High spirits, no, no. Before we continue, no.
Like, we can't add games into the marathon, but if there's a game you'd like us to play, me and Demarine, what we can do is we can run them. Oof, I got hit in this segment. If there's a game that you'd like us to play, maybe you can maybe some point in the next couple weeks, separate from the marathon, we'll give it a shot. So if you want to like suggest in something like that, if you want us to improvise out stuff with more impressions, that's an option. Just give us your suggestions. Only suggestions through donations will be considered.
And I'm vetoing Mystic Quest Randomizer because even I have my limits when it comes to randomizers.
But yeah, if you want something, like give it to us. If it's something that we can't, and we'll also be saving Dr. B's beard, which is a really nice beard, by the way. Like,
I want something.
The world would lose a treasure without that beard.
I want something, Hex.
What do you want?
Mystic Quest Randomizer.
That one's banned.
Hear that, folks? Vote with your dollars. Scala said it.
If enough people donate, maybe.
Noting I'll have to play it too, so, you know.
Well, it's only me and Demarine that are signed on to this.
Nope, Natara signed on. She's in. She's playing
Yeah,
Zelda.
I just signed on. I'm in.
Natara has to do whatever it is.
Yeah, so everyone knows how much I hate, well, no, actually, I don't hate Mystic Quest. Folks know what I hate.
But yeah, if there's a game that, I know I've been in this position as the Virtual Boy speedrunner, but if there's a game that you play that you really wish other people would blind race, guess what? You can probably make us do it.
Margie, I thought you were my friend. She wants me to play before Beyond Crisis. No. Beyond Chaos. No. Okay, bye.
Bye. We do have to hit 10,000 this run to make it happen, though, whatever it is. I don't know, but it sounds exciting. Anyway, we're just beating up these boys. We did a whole segment with Loki, where we got to walk away from something slowly.
We've got a donation for the 10k suggestion from Demarine to, we have $5. And how about a Zelda 2 randomizer again?
Demarine, that wouldn't even be fair.
You didn't specify that the selection had to be fair, you just had to specify that we had to donate for it.
Yes, but I also didn't think that you would be the one suggesting things. I've never even gotten past whatchamacallit in Zelda 2, even casually. What's it called? I'm blanking. This chapter's real easy, by the way. It's just this one fight, and this fight isn't too bad.
Well, I'm actually going to
I
step
say
in.
getting hit by the first attack.
I'm going to step in for a moment, though, right now, and thank Games Done Quick for the raid of 1002 tonight. Hi, everybody! We are in the middle of the Bayonetta block, which is one game long.
It's a long game, though. It was funny because I was just about to bring out that at AGDQ, I think it was 2018. Eon tried to teach me Zelda 2, and I got to Death Mountain, using save states and everything, and Eon was teaching me the tricks, and I had to fight this one specific random enemy, not a boss, at the end of Death Mountain, and I turned to Eon, and I was like, you know what? No. I don't want to play this anymore. And Zelda 2 is the only Zelda game I've never beaten. Either.
Alright, yep, but of course, just so everyone's aware that we are very close to $10,000 here. We are at $9,192, and of course, to all your raiders out there, if you want to see Witch's Hex, Natara, and myself, Demarine 2, learn a new game on Valkyrie's stream after the marathon is over.
Oh no.
Right? Please donate and suggest games to us. Currently in the lead is Zelda 2 Randomizer at $5 because I really love Natara.
I don't think you count, Demarine.
I'm gonna go be grumpy now.
See, I can't even donate right now because I'm playing the video game.
Hey, I'll throw myself in too. So that's 4 belts.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
I don't
Also,
care. I run RPGs and also point and click adventures. Come on. Just nothing too jumpy. I'm not good at the jumping.
I
ones.
would love a point and click adventure race. Can people can someone please donate to maybe make that Monkey Island 1 learning?
Ooh, I would gladly learn Monkey Island 1.
I would have a blast doing that with everyone.
So there you go. There's a suggestion, y'all. All right, I'm gonna let you get back to being cool and shooting up stuff while you're wearing a Star Fox cosplay.
If you really want to torture everyone but me, right, there is no stop on this cutscene. I'll remember that eventually. If you want to torture everyone but me, Mother 3 rando, please.
Oh gosh, that sounds intense.
Mother 3 rando. My PB in Mother 3 is like 8 hours, and the rando is probably longer.
No, why?
Do it. Torture everyone but me. I'll have fun. They won't.
Why 12-hour rando challenge? No.
In fairness, if it's something that long, we can we don't have to do 12 hours.
No.
That's
Natara is like, I'm speaking on behalf of myself and Natara.
Anyway, we've done a couple bosses here. There are a bunch of back-to-back boss fights. This is another boss. This chapter is kind of a weird. It's a boss fight followed by a not boss fight followed by a boss fight. Anyway, so we're fighting this big shrimp creature. Because we need to go inside it. Or something. I'm honestly struggling to remember the story. Ooh, I've been hit by all of its attacks. But anyway, we need to fight this big shrimp creature because it's a jerk. And something. Okay, I might take a death at some point here because I just lost all my health. This is one of these fights too. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, the way this thing works is that it's got these 2 eyes on its wings, and then we have to fight both of the eyes. And then between the eyes, we have these phases where it just shoots missiles at us, and we dodge all the missiles. Build up some meter because I'm on 1 health. This game does have mid-boss checkpoints because, well-designed video game. More games should have mid-boss checkpoints. You know, I'm going to use my lollipop. I don't want to die. I'm probably going to regret that when we get to the next boss. But
can I pop in with some donations?
Absolutely, we're just pulling eyes out of octopuses.
That's valid. Alrighty, so from High Spirits, we have a $5 donation, and the comment is, I suggest the Valkyries run Lunar Dragon Song. I can supply the notes.
I like this better than Zelda 2.
And then we have a donation from Mecha Link, is $7, and the suggestion is 7th Saga Randomizer. Even I wouldn't make someone play 7th Saga blind. It's a 5-hour RNG heavy speed.
Well, just to clarify, it's not a pure bid war, right?
I mean, you know,
If something gets a lot, though, we will consider it more highly, I think.
if you keep donating for 7 Saga Randomizer, though, I can probably offer up Silverfire as well.
Well, we already have 4, though. We can't fit more people on the stream. I mean, maybe someone will want to panic out, though. You know the worst part about me using that lollipop? I did the rest of the fight perfectly with no more hits.
Nice! This is just such an incredibly stylish fight, though, just going deeper and deeper, and then all of a sudden...
Ripping out the eyes.
Thankfully it doesn't look like an actual eye, because this would have otherwise made me incredibly squeamish.
Shoutouts to AI, the Somnium Files.
Is it an octopus? I thought it looked more like a stingray.
It's definitely not an octopus, and I don't know why I keep calling it that.
You're valid. Everything is an octopus.
I'm also surprised no one in chat called me out.
Ah, we've got another donation from a Mellison, is $10, and the suggestion is Lunar Dragon Song is a flawless speedrun. I second the suggestion.
So anyway, we're now in the belly of the beast. We ripped out that stingray, which is not an octopus. It's his eyes. And we now get this one fight in the belly of the stingray, and then it's time for another boss. These random mobs are actually kind of tough.
They cover a lot of space with their attacks, so you have to be a little,
Yeah.
you have to be a little safe when you're fighting them.
Yep, I'm not going to try to taunt these. I also haven't been trying to taunt a lot, just because I am doing really well on money at this point. Once I hit, like, ideally, so long as I hit 500,000 by chapter 14, it's all good. Like, after that point, it's a very minor difference. The only other thing I'll buy from that point on is lollipops and red hot shots. A red hot shot is basically an auto-use lollipop on death. And, like, the thing about buying lollipops is I can't just stack them. If you're holding a big lollipop, you can't buy any more from the shop, and if you're holding 3 small lollipops, you can't buy any more from the shop. Anyway, this is why I probably shouldn't use that lollipop. Because we have mysterious guy in a white coat again. Although, the next time we fight him is, besides the last time, is probably the hardest. Alright, so that cutscene right there is a phase transition, so if I die, I get to start from there. So yeah, why don't we hear a little bit about Take This during this fight, because I'm just going to be concentrating.
That's fair. So, Take This is... Oh no. I forgot that I set my keybind to Control-Shift, and now I can't read anything that's on my screen.
Oh no, let's take this! I don't know! Man, I'm...
Okay, so Take This is a really cool mental health nonprofit, and their main mission is to inform the gaming community about mental health issues and provide education on different disorders and prevention techniques, and reduce the overall stigma around mental illness, which is honestly a really great thing to have. And part of the thing that we're raising money for with this marathon is the AFK room, which takes $10,000 to do, and it's basically just a place where people can go during events and just kind of chill and like refocus and get their groove back together, which is always appreciated.
And just remember, $10,000 by the end of Bayonetta means additional video games for the Valkyries.
They don't have to be suffering. You can recommend us something fun.
Yeah, you could recommend a good game. Like, there are many good games out there that we would love to play.
I feel like the people who suggested their own speed games will take offense to that one.
I have a really good speed game for y'all to play. It's called Secret Agent Barbie: The Royal Jewels.
Please, though, please donate for Secret Agent Barbie: The Royal Jewels. Okay, come on. We got this. We're in there.
Nice.
Whew. I'm very happy with this run so far, honestly.
More missiles.
Baby missiles.
This is a little disturbing.
They have faces.
They're cherubs,
I don't know how to
technically.
feel about this.
They're cherubs.
They're from
It's heaven.
They're from Anti-Heck.
Anti-heck.
Look, it's canon
I
now.
will stop pausing cutscenes at some point and remember which ones I can skip someday. It's really hard to remember, though, because there's no visual distinction between a skippable cutscene and a non-skippable cutscene.
Other than your own memory.
Yeah, but the problem is that there's a cutscene like every 2 minutes, so that's not good enough. Anyway, I want to be... Keeping combo up is going to get harder after Chapter 9, which I have the ability to toggle on and off, so, you know, until I hit my goal of 500,000 halos, I will be skipping back and forth just to make sure I hit that amount of money, between the better damage and the guaranteed, stuff. So there's a skip here. I'm going to give it exactly one attempt because it is pretty challenging, and I don't get it a lot. But we're going to give it a shot to be shown off. So if I can... I've missed it. You can jump up there and skip a fight, but it's difficult. It's the hardest skip in the run. So I'm just not going to bother.
Popping in with another donation from Scala Kitty, we have $8. Sparko is going to be making up their Pokemon Snap Run. Maybe we can have a Snap Timber throwback and try running that game! Exclamation point and heart emoji.
I like that idea. I'm a big fan of that idea. That sounds like nice and fun and relaxing, and sounds like I don't want to die.
No, I don't want to play Pokemon Snap. That game is terrible. That's going to be suffering for you. I'm not going to be very happy about that. I'm not going to be...
Oh, yeah, that's what I think too. I'm just gonna break these for some extra goodies, for safety's sake. Mini skip here, very, very small. I'm just gonna hit, boop, and we're out. That's just faster than running across the bridge. There's a fight on the bridge, but it's not actually a mandatory fight. Anyway, mini-boss time. We get to fight the orb!
That's not shaped like an orb.
Can I get some orbs in the chat?
Hex, that is definitely not an orb. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll reveal the orb for you in a second, Demarine.
Oh, wait, is it magic orb? Ooh.
If you have orb emotes, feel free to use those. If you have Rowlet emotes, that's even better.
I've considered printing a Rowlet on like a card and just keeping it in my wallet, and then just whenever someone's like, hey, orb, I can just pull the Rowlet out of my wallet and be like, same.
Anyway, that was a smooth orb fight.
Nice.
Gonna break these things for some extra goodies. And we can come back over here. The fight's not gonna spawn again. And Loki's gonna open us a little portal so we can go do a fight. And we're gonna steal this cube. Because cubes are the opposite of orbs and therefore evil.
But it's an anti-heck. How could it be evil?
So here's what we're gonna do. This is why we have swords, is for fights like this. These have absurd range. But they do garbage damage. So here's a fun fact. So when we hit max magic, I have one of two options of what I can do, and actually my magic meter seems to not be cooperating for this. Try not to die. Anyway, this fight is really annoying. Alright, never mind. Normally I like to use a torture attack on this, which is the second thing you can do, but I just didn't have the magic for it, so I couldn't do a torture attack. Torture attacks are typically a lot slower, but that specific enemy is a huge pain and dies to a torture attack in one, so I like to do it. But anyway, we're going to pick up this record. It's actually only 1/3 of an LP, so we're going to have to get the other two.
And that's why Hex will need to stop at the shop after Chapter 9, because she's going to have all 3 parts.
Yep, two of them are in Chapter 8, one of them is in Chapter 9. And that's the... And while I never forget to pick them up... Alright, so here's a little fun thing real quick. So when we're doing this little segment, I want to hit all of these things, these little diamonds that we're going past, because they explode into rings, and that's just free rings. They actually explode into hell rings, which are these, like, weird oblong shapes. But they count as rings. There's actually one that you may have noticed is a different color. Now, if you're playing casually, that's the only one you really care about hitting, because it has half a moon pearl, and if you get 2 halves of a moon pearl, you get an extra moon pearl, which raises your max magic by 1, which means you can store an extra bit of magic when you're using your thing. Anyway, here's another skip. There's a fight in that arena. We're just going to go along the edge and not get sucked into it. Then we're going to fly around here. I'll explain the rest of that in a second. We're going to open this chest, because it's a magic lollipop. This will come... I'm going to save these until the very end of the game, the magic lollipops. They'll come in handy much later. Anyway, and then there's the other piece of the LP back here, convenient enough. Then we're going to jump across here. There's a fight over there, so we're going to also go around that, and we're done. So now we just wait for Loki to open us a portal. Anyway, the reason I didn't want to pick up that Moon Pearl... I remember this area. The reason I didn't want Loki to pick up that Moon Pearl is, because you get a little tooltip when you pick up your first Moon Pearl, and we're never going to pick up 2. Not to mention that even if we could pick up 2, we always use them right away, so it wouldn't even really do anything helpful for us. Oh, I dropped Chain trying to taunt. But anyway. So we don't want the tooltip. Is basically the whole reason. In the old route, you used to pick up, used to buy some moon pearls from the shop and stuff, with your extra money, but nowadays we need all of our money. Anyway, we're gonna swim underwater. We're gonna fight these things. This is like the one fight in the game that is required, but you're not locked into, because you do need to do this to pick up those pieces and therefore advance the game. Anyway, these things kind of drop these bombs that get hit by them. This fight is kind of annoying just because these things move everywhere and the pillars, and we're underwater. And, like in most games, being underwater is worse than not being underwater. Anyway, there's some chests up here, but they don't contain anything we care about, so we're just gonna leave. I'm gonna open this for some goodies because it's right here. And we're gonna get stuck waiting for Loki at the top of the stairs anyway. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong staircase. Oh well. Well, I'm still gonna open it. This is actually probably the easiest verse in the game. Observe what I have to do to pure platinum it. I'm currently walking up the stairs.
You're more running up the stairs.
I'm currently running up the stairs. And,
I see.
hooray, verse 13, pure platinum.
I see you remembered to turn to the right at the end. Good job.
I love that one. Anyway, mini boss time.
Weird drill coffin thing.
Yep, this thing isn't too tough. Unless you let it hit you, which I just did. This fight just kinda... This one's a little damage spongy. It's not that damage spongy, but it kinda just... It takes less damage than you'd expect. I'm not sure what about it makes me think that it would take less damage, but something about it just makes me feel like my hits aren't doing as much as I want. I mean, that's always the case, but, you know, slightly more, not just what I want. Anyway, we're gonna beat this thing up.
I think it's the color of the health gauge makes it feel like it's not taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, in any case, it's not a particularly exciting fight, and it doesn't last very long. So anyway, we're gonna go plug these things into the thing they go into.
That was easy.
Okay, same deal as before. You notice the red one that has a witch heart increases max health. You need 4 of them to increase max health, and there is no way we're finding 4 in a single run. So yeah, Chapter 8, we currently have 2 pieces of that record. So not yet, but after the next chapter, I'll have the 3rd piece and a very tough fight. God, I think my PB, I die a bunch to the fight at the end of this chapter. It's just kind of, most bosses would have a checkpoint where one more checkpoint than this fight coming up does. But we still have the whole chapter to go before that. It's not just a boss fight chapter. Those become increasingly rare as the game goes on. Yes, so I need to shop after this chapter.
You need to shop after this chapter.
I need to shop after this chapter. Anyway, we have another skip here. So I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to touch the side here. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to fly over here, and no fight. But I am going to break this orb, or this thing. Thank you for the unicorn horn. We do have to do this fight, though.
Yep, now the forces of Anti-Heck are really getting serious here.
Yep, we're kind of using Loki's powers to go between Heck and Anti-Heck right now. We're kind of stealing power from Anti-Heck to power things in Heck.
The Spear Rider is one of the most difficult enemies in the game to deal with casually.
And in the speedrun, apparently.
Oh yeah, it will destroy you, and very rapidly from any range that it wants.
Yeah, those things are a pain. They're really fast, too. And the gold ones especially. It's okay, though. I'm actually proud of how few deaths this run has had so far.
Yeah, and the hardest part of that is that the big nearly untelegraphed sweep in close range just means that you can't just stay close to make your life easier.
Yeah, this is one of those fights that I will be specifically... Sometimes you may notice that I specifically go after the health barred enemy. That's never because it's faster. It's just because I don't want to die. Anyway, I'm gonna taunt that one for some extra rings. Then hope that this thing spawns fast enough. It did not. That's a shame.
Trying to get the second half of Umbran Climax to hit it.
I wasn't even concerned about that so much as maintaining my combo, because I still need $2,400 more dollars. And 240,000 off by 2 orders of magnitude. And like while I'm on while I'm not on scary pace for that, the earlier the better. Especially after Chapter 9.
Yeah, you really want to be, pretty close to just the boss bonuses plus not too terribly much at that point.
Yeah. And extra money always comes in handy. It's not like if I get too much, it starts becoming wasteful. Like, I always want more money. Because more money I can buy... If I wind up with a lot of extra money, I can buy some extra max health. I can buy some extra lollipops. I can buy a second accessory. There's a lot extra money can pay for. Second accessory is kind of laughable to happen, though. That requires a lot of extra money. But it's possible. I'd rather people donate money to take this, though, than that. Anyway, I'm going to pick up the third piece of the record. It's just down here. That gives me the whole thing. And after the chapter... You know what? I'm just not even going to take that risk. And I just realized why I don't do this all the time. Hello, Rohan Shop. I'm just going to go in over here.
I actually have a perfectly timed donation from Phoenix Dawn for $9, and the comment is shop after 9. So, almost.
Don't even need it. Don't even need it, but thanks for the reminder and the money to take this. Anyway, that record has unlocked for us. Forget the swords, we're not using them anymore. We now have a giant hammer.
I am into this now all of a sudden, even more so than usual.
Anyway, there's a very minor skip over here, which just skips the staircase. Anyway, the hammer is the slowest weapon in the game, so you may be wondering why we want it for a speedrun. Well, jump cancels, we can just do this.
Oh man, I love hammers so much.
And this is what happens with the jump cancel. Basically, I can do cancel out of the hammer to make it go really fast and do a lot of quick hammer swings for absurd damage. Which I will stop doing against this fight specifically. The problem with the hammer swings, though, is that you can't use guns anymore with them. Which means that actually chaining stuff gets a lot harder with them. Which means that I'm still going to be doing a lot of fights that are kind of hard to hit things in with my old setup. Just to make sure I can get the money I'm going to need later. Especially because hammer swings are very easy to drop because you have to kind of do this really uncomfortable mash of well-timed jump and then hammer, or hammer and then jump. And in addition to doing that, you still need to keep a finger on the dodge button. Because, you know, that doesn't enter you into iframes. Anyway, we had another orb that we're playing volleyball with ourselves with.
And I'm gonna chime in with a donation from Emelison, $15. Congrats on remembering the shop.
Thank you for the congrats. That's a big deal to me. Anyway, in floaty fights like this in space, I can't do the hammer cancels because I can't jump. So they're not even useful. This fight is also really tough. So I'm actually gonna just not talk for it. Alright, now we get this little break in the middle. This is not a checkpoint, by the way, but I think it really should be. Okay, back to silence. All right, we're gonna mix a lollipop. This is why we've been picking up all those ingredients. Doing that slow, but it's very safe. Oof. Fortunately, a little... Oh, God. Whew. Okay, that's done. That was close.
Ooh, boy.
That fight is very, very hard.
I was holding my breath for like the last minute.
That's probably the hardest fight in the game that's not in the last chapter.
Survived.
I did survive, and now we get to go to the depths, and I don't have to visit the shop because I already did. And we get to do a lot more hammer usage. Not actually used to doing using the hammer in the depths because I usually forget to go to the shop after chapter 9. So this is going to be a new experience for me. These jumps can actually be kind of tricky. All right, so verse 4, because we skipped verses 1 through 3 in this chapter, just by not like using skips. So we just have to dodge these snakes. It's pretty easy, but something we want to be aware of is that this money kind of litters the floor, and if we get too close to the money, then we don't have money, and I get sad. Or if we get too close, then I take damage, and that's bad. But if I don't even try, I lose it. There's also a witch heart here that's kind of actually surprisingly hard to dodge. Dodged it. Again, a good thing that we don't want, because there's only 2 of them on the critical path. Snakes have lots of legs, Scala.
So I have a silly question.
Yep.
Is all verses a category?
I guess it could be. I don't think anyone runs it, though. Do you mean like the tag battle?
No, I mean like completing every single segment of every single chapter with no skips.
No. That wouldn't be very fun.
It does require a lot of knowledge of the game.
I want that Laurel.
Oh boy, yeah, that's not going so good there.
It's okay, there was a full health Laurel. I'm struggling to get off, my hammer jumps. The problem with hammer jumps is the required movements to do them is so different than when you first pick up, than what you're doing, that you're pretty much guaranteed to miss a bunch of them the first time you pick up the hammer. And I mean, you're pretty much guaranteed. I mean, a runner that's, you know, not like one of the best runners. But like, look at what you can do with this thing when you actually nail these hammer jumps.
Yeah, of course, the Molt Spider can lock you down with webs, fires projectiles, again, massive range. If you don't dodge that, it takes off half your health gauge. You know, lots of good attacks in this fight that really can ruin you.
Anyway, it's over. I didn't die. So, something I want to bring up is that this is chapter 10. There's 16 chapters in this game. That's your... So, I'm pretty sure we're going in under estimate. So, if you want that, unless something terrible happens, I shouldn't count that out early. But, Yeah, if you want us to do something crazy, and if you want to save Dr. B's beard, and also if you want to make me happy, because like it would just make me get to be the run with 10k. Not gonna lie. Means I have to. Anyway, I'm just gonna go around swinging this big arm all over the place. See, the hammer jumps work for that Wicked Weave thing, so they're really good. The hammer jumps also fill that meter very, very quickly when done right. Anyway, this fight is scary because it has this one attack that turns you into back into a child, which is relevant because of Bayonetta 1 not getting into it. I'm dead.
Ooh, boy, that's a quick attack.
Yeah, that's instant death. This thing is very annoying.
Yeah, the attacks get really unfair at the end of the game, and this one definitely qualifies as unfair.
We're not at the end yet, but that one-off enemy specifically is very annoying. This encounter, it's not a boss encounter, but it's one of the more annoying ones in the game. I'm gonna switch to these because they're safer. I will switch back for when I use that climax. However, I will save that for the second phase. Normally I don't save these because it makes the meter not build up again, but I'm going to make an exception for this fight. Actually, I'm going to torture attack. Rare use of torture attack. I forgot you could do that. Because it's so slow that you very rarely do it in the run.
But it's a one-shot there, so, you know, it's a good thing, certainly.
It's a one-shot on almost everything. Anyway, I'm glad to be past that encounter. I usually take one death there, exactly. I normally don't take multiple, but I normally take a death. But that's okay. I will say I've taken a lot fewer deaths than I expected to this run. I guess it's not too late for that, but
let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Take This.
Oh boy, let's talk about Take This.
I can talk about Take This. So real quick, we had a anonymous $10 donation, so thank you very much. And I can say words. So Take This exists to let people know that it's okay to not be okay. No one is alone in their struggles with mental health, and there's always hope for improvement. So Take This also travels to different conventions, such as PAX, MagFest, and TwitchCon, just to reach out to the gaming community and really, help everybody understand that, like I said earlier, you're not alone, and, you can talk about it, and it's perfectly okay to do that.
Die! Why aren't you dead? Oh my god. I was scared there.
How magic is that last pixel?
Also, I apologize for telling, I apologize for, kind of yelling die after you talked about it. Don't die, Take This. You're a very important organization that does a lot of really good things.
Take This is valid for everyone except for these weird, tree creature things. I don't know what they are, but they scare me.
Take This is not for literal demons.
Is this a literal demon?
Okay, so let's explain what's going on right here, because we have a bit of an interesting segment ahead of us. So Rohan is with us here, and Rohan is super, just ridiculously strong. So basically, we have a few enemies that are going to spawn, and then Rohan's going to murder all of them in one big go. Anyway, what we're going to try to do here is just keep our chain up and just try to keep hitting things. We're not trying to kill things. We're just trying to milk as many halos off of Rohan as we can, so that we can give them back to him later in exchange for his goods.
He is incredibly, ridiculously powerful, and it definitely does not get fully explained in Bayonetta 1 exactly what Rodan is.
It's kind of like the big series. It's one of the big series mysteries of like what the deal with Rohan is. We kind of have details at this point. We don't know everything. I'm also going to be picking up all the goodies that drop.
All we know is that he can call the power of anti-heck down upon his enemies.
Yeah. In both Bayonetta 1 and 2, Rohan is a secret unlockable character that you can get by fighting and beating Rohan. Very few players have fought and beat Rohan.
Warsaw is giving us the actual primer here, which is Rodan was an angel who fell, became a demon, and then left them too, so he has both powers.
There we go. Very few players have actually beat Rodan in either game.
And so is my target by the looks of it.
Jean,
This is not a skippable cutscene, by the way, but it's one of the most, it's one of the longest unskippable cutscenes.
It's also very Bayonetta in how it's styled.
So this game does not have like a extremely high budget, which they made up for with this kind of like clock cutscene. It was a good way to get around it. Anyway. It was not the best depths, but at least we failed through the depths fairly quickly. Anyway, Chapter 11.
I heard a very implied sigh at the back of that Chapter 11.
Nope. I don't think I didn't... Oh, wait. This boss is kind of a pain, so I'm going to be using... This boss has 2 phases. The first phase is honestly a lot more difficult and more interesting. I'm going to be using our good old friends, the Shooty Kickies, for phase 1, just because it's easier. It's not... It would be faster to use the hammer, but hitting small targets with the hammer can be very difficult, especially when you're still trying to save up halos. But I will be switching over for the next phase, which is a little bit easier.
Scala wants you to let you know that they're actually named Shooty Booties.
That's really good. Oh, I dropped the combo. Oh well. At least the phase is going pretty decently otherwise, except for that.
Ooh, yeah.
As I said, this game wanted to throw in a lot more kind of like big U-sized enemies one-on-one fights. Oh.
This enemy is not
We
U-sized.
got flowers to spawn.
Yeah,
you typically do not want to see flowers spawn. Not because they're that big of a deal, just because it means you made a mistake. I'm going to save the Umbran Climax for next phase, since this one's almost over. Skip that. Then, phase actually a lot easier. Let's jump cancel in some hammers. Do a ton of damage. Take a ton of damage.
Ooh, boy,
Try
that...
not to die. I don't have another lollipop right now, but if I die here, it's not the end of the world. I'm probably going to take a death here, but let's try not to.
Yeah, the tough thing about this game, of course, is the concept of how telegraphed a given attack is really lets you set up your witch time and your dodges. That tail swipe is not very well telegraphed when you're right on top of the enemy.
So, fun fact, there's actually 3 main playable characters. There's actually 5, but for our purposes, there's 3, because there's only 3 that people speedrun. 2 of them require, like, one's Rodon, which we all know is impossible to unlock. You can actually cheat. There actually are secret ways to unlock them. But that's another story. You can, there's, secret doors in the early chapters that you can go, kind of knock on. I don't remember exactly how it works. You'd have to go look up Bayonetta cheats, but, basically you can unlock, secret characters and stuff, without meeting their unlock requirements by paying a ton of rings. Anyway, I'm surprised I cleared that with that one sliver of health, but hey, I'm not complaining.
Oh yeah, we take those when we get them.
Thanks for the 20,000 Halos game. And that gold award. I love short chapters because I have a chance of getting the good awards. Anyway, chapter 12, I'm gonna briefly explain. We have an auto-scroller to start off chapter 12. It's kind of a weird auto-scroller, so I'll explain how it works, and then we can, if you have anything to say, would be a good time. So basically, I want to be holding forward on this weird demon horse that I think I just turned, that boss I just fought into or something. I'm not really clear on what happened there. Anyway, other than that, we just move forward. Sometimes my magic gauge just builds up over time, and I can do that. Other than that, my attacks suck when I don't have it. Just do this for a while. You hold it, you dodge things as they come in. All that good stuff. So now would be a good time for donations, blurbs, reminders of incentives, etc., etc.
I have those. So we are just under $30 towards upgrading the 8-bit hero trainer to the exciting difficulty, which sounds exciting. And we have $10 towards the chaos difficulty showcase. And La Place Noma is still just under halfway for saving Amy. I'm not really sure if it's like a save the animals, kill the animals kind of situation there, but saving people is usually pretty cool, so go save Amy.
Saving beards is also pretty cool, just saying.
Save that beard. We are so close. We are just almost to 9,300, so if you want to go ahead and swing some dollars this way, that'd be really cool, because then we can make sure that beard is saved. Also, I haven't talked about them a lot, but the prizes are really, really cool for Friday, which is today. And our Friday is...
I can't win them because I'm a Valkyrie.
Yep, makes me a little sad.
For today, we have a Monkbead Sprite pen, which is really cute. I love the colors on it. A Celis opera scene inspired skirt, and it's gorgeous. I really like it, so y'all should get it so that you can wear it and feel pretty, and we will feel pretty through you. And then you can also get a custom emote or avatar commission by Scala Kitty, which is really cool because that is a adorable art style.
Yeah, Scala is a fantastic artist. All of our emotes were done by her. All the channel graphics, everything. You want Scala art.
Oh yeah, she puts a lot of love into it. It's all fantastic.
By the way, this I'm fighting this guy again. Not as bad as the last time. Not easy, just not as bad.
Except, you know, mysterious cloaked man now has weird peacock wings.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
I will probably take a death, but there's reasonable checkpoints in this one, so whatever. There's also that the Bloodstained Kickstarter edition, which you can't get anymore as a prize. And that's not a special today prize, that's an everyday prize, but like tomorrow's the last day of the marathon. So, you know, and you can't buy those anymore. Like Bloodstained came out, it was a good video game. It exists now in the world. You can't kickstart it anymore. This is the only way you're going to be able to get that now.
That's it. Amy has a copy of the full edition, and it is beautiful. I have seen it in person. I've touched the parts of it. It is real good. So yeah, of course, as we get deeper in the game, dodge windows get tighter, witch time gets shorter.
Alright, I was going to explain the difference between the three characters and why I play as Bayonetta. They're all separate categories. So you can play as Bayonetta, and that's the pretty standard experience. If you haven't played the game before and you don't have anything unlocked, that's who you'll be playing as. That's okay, I just hit the cutscene.
Ouch.
But, or I just hit the checkpoint, so that was a good time to die. Or no, I didn't. I thought I did.
Oh.
No, I did. Okay, so, Bayonetta's pretty standard, so, Jean is harder to play as. I actually like playing as Jean better, but for the sake of, me not being the best runner of this game, and by the best runner of this game, I literally mean one of the top runners, because this game is really hard. Oof. Taking a lot of deaths here.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's time to start to bolt it down a little bit here. Bolt it down.
But anyway, Jean has a tighter dodge window. So you have less time to actually activate witch time. But her witch time lasts longer as a reward. And I don't like that. I mean, I do like that. I just don't like that when I'm trying to go fast. It's also very funny, because, like, Bayonetta updates in the cutscenes to be whatever character she's supposed to be. Which means that if you're playing as Jean, what happens at the beginning of the game is you get this beautiful cutscene of Jean holding Jean's corpse going like, I need to save her. Ooh, 4 deaths. I'm gonna pop some, let's use some lollies here. Lollipops. I don't know why I opened the menu. But anyway. So it results in some, silliness. The other character you can play is Rosa.
Wait, does she get a bow and white magic?
No, she's weirdly a witch, which is pretty much just a black mage. Maybe it's from an AU or something.
That's
but
fair.
Anyway. Rosa is extraordinarily strong, and the Rosa speedruns are the fastest, but Rosa's a glass cannon. She can't survive any hits. So she's absurdly tough to play as. If you're playing on the hardest difficulty, Nonstop Infinite Climax, you probably actually do just want to play as Rosa because
Yeah, because nonstop.
because you're gonna die in one hit anyway.
Yeah. Also, in nonstop Infinite Climax, Jean's bonus witch time doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, well neither does Bayonetta's bonus because you don't get witch time. So Bayonetta and Jean are pretty. I think there might be some difference between them. Anyway, finally got through that fight. That fight is tough. It's not as tough as the last one, but it's still pretty tough. And I didn't have any health recoveries to get through it. But I ate a lollipop and we're good.
Can I pop in with a donation read?
Yep.
Alrighty, from Bullet Jill, we have $5. And the comment is, Hex is a good, Space Cats is a good, Demi is a good, Charity is a good, let's save Amy, and let's save the beer.
We missed one though. Bullet Jill didn't say that Bullet Jill is a good, which seems required for that list.
Bullet Jill is a
You
good.
are right. Bullet Jill is a good.
So here's a confusing one, just for movement. You'd think you want to go straight, you want to go this way. Just a little bit of confusing. You get there's another encounter with a free witch heart over there. It's actually pretty easy to get, but you have to fight something for a witch heart. Which would still put us only at 3 witch hearts, even if we picked up all of them, so not exactly worth it. Anyway, now I'm going to start using the hammer more. I can start relaxing a bit about money, because I still have this chapter. I have chapter 13 in terms of money, and chapter 14 itself. It's pretty easy to get a cool 100,000 for a reason that will become apparent once we get there. It's not a guarantee, but it's much easier to make money in that chapter. Anyway, you can see me doing these hammer jumps all over the place. Hammer jumps are really good for lots of enemies because they just kind of wipe everything out. Not the same way swords are, but I can't really use swords from this point forward because coward that I am, I wanted to keep my guns up because guns are just more reliable.
And then here comes Trinex.
Yep, this boss is actually pretty easy with the hammers. You can just kind of melt health bars real quick. So yeah, you can see I'm kind of like jumping out of the hammer swing. And that lets me get like hammer jumps, that lets me get hammer swings in way faster than I'm supposed to.
So basically what you're saying is that you're swinging the hammer and then like doing short hops right afterwards.
Yep, and the timing on those is actually pretty challenging. You can't really just mash them out, but they do so much damage once you can get them down. And I do mess them up sometimes, which is why I kind of switch back and forth, because for fights where I have small... Because, like, that's kind of unacceptable for, like, tiny enemies, because you're not going to be able to keep your combo up unless you're hitting all of them. So it's a little bit of a safety thing I do. Anyway, I got hit by the last possible thing you can get hit by there. Please just let me... Thank you. Anyway, we're fighting alongside alongside Rosa, our dead mom from the past. Don't worry about it. Okay, I opened that in hopes that I would get a... Anyway, I was hoping for a laurel, but I'll take that instead, because it means I can do this. And there's a lot of pots in this room. One of them will have a laurel. I'll take that.
Healed to full. Everything is good.
Those doors break open based on amount of damage. Okay, so every single time I play this when I'm running through, I just, like, die due to this big fire blast. Let's see if I can avoid that. I don't know why, I just can't be patient. It literally does lethal damage. The only reason I don't die is because the game doesn't let you die from not 1 health.
Yep, and of course this is the town from the first game, and, well, you know, it's not having a very good day.
Well, we're in the past, but also we're not in the past. Don't worry about it.
The plot of this game is real good, but it's a little bit inscrutable.
Alright, let's see if I can get through this without dying. It won't matter too much if I die, but, dying means less money. Oh, hey! That thing dropped a full health, one of the big laurels. Lucky us.
We say it's full health, but if you're actually playing casually and you have a bunch of extra health upgrades, it's not full health. It's not...
Full health for me.
That's a really good fight.
Yeah, that one went. I think that one went pretty well. I think.
Yeah, no, that was a really good
Hammer jumps. I mean, my next step to getting better at this game is I really do need to get more consistent on hammer jumps. Anyway, this is a mechanic from the first game you see a lot, is these, like, strike yourself with lightning statues in order to bring up witch time. So that's a little callback, because, again, we're in the area from the first game in the past with our mom, who's dead.
Oh, hey, is this who I think it is?
Yep, you might remember this mini-boss from the first game, too.
Oh,
This mini-boss is a lot harder in the first game.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's not a it's not a proper mini-boss in this game. It was a proper mini-boss in that game.
Yeah, except on hard difficulty when it was no longer a mini-boss and was just an encounter. Grayson.
Hello, hands everywhere. Welcome to me doing proper hammer jumps with Umbran Climax. Is just that ridiculous health drain. Want to know something? That's not the best thing we can do with in terms of damage.
Is it one of the better things you can do if you're a beginner runner of this game, though?
Nope. There's the thing we can do for the most damage is even easier, but we can't do it yet. Because we're missing something. Oof. I just forgot that was going to spawn there.
But yeah, this was the boss of this stage in Bayonetta 1.
Yep, this whole level's a big Bayo 1 callback. Anyway, we'll fight the rest of that boss in a few minutes.
Like Bayo 1.
Ah, stay still. Just gonna break these. Nope, was hoping for health, but there was no health. Yep. Okay, I messed that up. We're just gonna...
Are we gonna take the fall
I
here?
don't fall in the lava, so we're just gonna come up over here. That's actually not too bad, because I think there's a lollipop in this chest I don't normally get. Because it's a little out of the way. No, it's a Midas charm. That's fine, I can make use of that too. Next fight I'm in that doesn't have me at like 2 health would be a good time to use that. If you don't mess up your hammer jumps, this boss will be easy, because you can just do this. Oof, you don't just... I say you can just do this, but what I didn't say... What I didn't say was you can do this so long as you don't just stand where the lava is. Typically, you hit the right fist for that reason.
So Scala does have a question for you, Hex. How crunchy is the lava? It looks pretty smooth. It looks...
It's actually medium spicy lava. It goes well with chips. Anyway, we're just gonna do some hammer jumps and end that fight immediately.
Can I pop in with a donation read?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. We have a $5 anonymous donation, and this person would like to suggest Godzilla 2 War of the Monsters. It's on the NES and TBS. Ogre battle or tactics ogre?
Oof.
Okay, Godzilla King of the Monsters. My reaction. Oof! I just jumped into lava there. Okay, there's another skip here. Oh my gosh, me.
Oh no.
I didn't even know there was a. Oh, hey, chest. I don't actually know what's in this one. I didn't know it was here. I'm gonna open it anyway. Free lollipop. Thank you, game.
Yay.
Oh, come on. Okay, the bad news is that I can't actually make that jump again. Well, that was an interesting series of things that just happened. Oh my gosh. Me! What are you doing, me?
Sorry,
You know what?
I'm laughing at you.
I'm just not going to dash across these because I've proven that I don't deserve to. What I was going to say is, anyway, we have another skip here. I've never made that mistake before. And this skip isn't too hard, but it actually can just fail sometimes because like the thing won't the thing won't recognize. But we're good. There was a fight there that we just didn't do. So we're just going to skip that fight. Yeah, I would really recommend eating this smooth lava with some... I'm going to open this chest. Those purple lollipops are going to be a huge benefit later in the game. I'm literally going to save all the purple ones for the final fight, by the way. Anyway, we have a fairly easy boss here to end up with the chapter. Just gonna do some hammer jumps on his leggies. Do some big sweepy hammer jumps. Oh, right, I was gonna say a thing about Godzilla. I'm gonna punish it now. Right. Godzilla 2 King of Monsters, I simultaneously don't want to do it, but also really want to do it because I like terrible things. I mean, I do sign up for Kusa Grande every single time. I always lose in qualifiers or rounds or whatever, but I have fun. Good mother-daughter bonding activities.
Welp.
Anyway, that's chapter 13. So we only have 3 chapters left. So if you want that like Valkyrie's suffering thing, what do we need? Like $700? Something like that?
$734.
So yeah, you better start getting that stuff in. Anyway, chapter 14 is my favorite chapter in the game. It's also the easiest. It's also one of the easiest chapters to make money in the run. Anyway, I'm just going to do hammer jumps in a circle while we're waiting. Of course, I nail all of those hammer jumps.
Nothing
So now we
online.
get this whole chapter is in a mech, and the mech is the best damage dealer in the game. So we do have a combo we like to use for the mech. It's punch, punch, hold. Punch, punch, hold X. Just melts absolutely everything. And as you can see, everything's dying, giving us like a million rings. Getting that combo up super high. This thing got kind of pushed into a bad direction, which is unfortunate. Gonna hug the sides to kind of break some stuff and pick some stuff up. Because like there's like breakables here that drop stuff when you kill it. I just got shot by like absolutely everything, but it's fine. Punch, punch, hold. Punch, punch, hold. I really like the mech. It's really satisfying. So as you can see, our ring count for this stage, because of that combo, is just skyrocketing. Meaning that, like, this is why I wasn't stressed about rings, even though I wasn't really all that close. And I want to hit 500,000 by the end of this chapter, but we still have a bunch of this chapter left to go.
And you still have a mech.
I do. You keep the mech for this entire chapter. Which makes this chapter pretty non-challenging, but who cares? Hitting this stuff. Not gonna open the chest. It's not worth it.
Wasn't Vanquish a platinum game?
Yep, Vanquish is another game that has this exact type of awesome stuff.
And don't you get, like, a mechanical suit in that where you get to dash around and do things like this?
Yeah, but that game, it's not the same, but it's also still a really good game. Vanquish is a great game that you should play. I just like this a lot better.
Vanquish is also a very entertaining, if technical, speedrun because of weapon swapping and things like that, and making sure you have everything you need to finish stages.
I've never looked into the Vanquish speedrun. I've never played it casually.
It's supposed to be a good speedrun, but it's, again, very, even on easy, it's very technical.
I know Half ran it. And Half and I tend to have very similar taste in speed games a lot of the time. Oops. I was wondering if that was going to happen. Taking a death here.
Oof.
Taking a death here was not something I expected. Oh well. We're doing fine. Oof. I did it again. Not died. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, this enemy is pretty damage spongy, even with all of the damage that the mech puts out, so you've got to be a little careful.
Oof. 2 deaths. I don't think I've ever died to this fight in a run before. Karma's catching up with me for how well the early game went for me.
Nature of the thing.
Karma and also thirst. I could use a drink of water, but there's no time. This isn't the sort of game that lets you put down the controller.
I can pop in with a little bit of stuff about goals and bid wars if you want to give your voice a...
Well, we're doing this fight for the 3rd time, so might as well.
Alrighty, so our bid wars are happening. The Dragon Warrior 4 randomizer naming Mara character is currently tied between Demi and Honk with a question mark and an exclamation point. So if you want to name Mara, feel free to go ahead and throw something into that category.
There,
What?
I finally beat it at 1 health.
And 8-Bit Hero Trainer is still just $30 short of being upgraded to the exciting difficulty, which
You gotta get that
honestly... Oh, nice. Exciting difficulty, not to play on the word, but it sounds exciting. So, go ahead and...
Hey. I managed to sneak in a drink, just in case people were concerned. I think I lost
Hydrate.
about 3 seconds to it, but it's fine.
Hydration is important. Hydration is worth the 3 seconds. And we are still just $700 shy at the 10,000. And if you want Hex to play a video game that you maybe feel would be fun or terrible or both, go ahead and get us up to the 10K.
You should,
And just remember, it's not just Hex. It's Hex, it's Scala, it's Natara, and myself.
Also, people who pay attention to me at all, know that I don't really learn new runs anymore. So, this is like your only chance to get me to learn something new, because I will be running the same 10 games in marathons until the day I die.
It's a good 10 games, though. I don't know, Firebird Lover, if you donate, you can tell us what horrible video game we'll all be playing, potentially. We don't know, I'm not very creative, I play randomizers.
I stand by the fact that you should play Secret Agent Barbie.
I mean, I'm not doing it for free. By which I mean I am doing it for free. But also, but I won't take this to make money. That boss is pretty easy. I only died to it the first time because I had 1 health. Anyway, that's over 50,000, 500,000 rings. So I don't care about rings anymore. I have enough. The game will give me as many as I need from this point forward. I am no longer worried about rings.
Oh, it's this weird thing again.
Yeah, it's a weird space cherub, which is about half of the bosses in Bayonetta. 1 and 2.
Yep.
Oof. Just taking hits left and right. Refuse to use a lollipop on this? Alright, good. Cut that too close, but you know what? We blew up the space cherub. And our mech, unfortunately. So, So I've been talking about how much money we've needed the entire game. They haven't said what the money's for. So, you know that mech we just had?
It's a mech.
It is a mech. And, we can't play whole levels in the mech anymore. But there's an accessory that's one of the most expensive accessories in the game, which is why we've been saving up for it the entire game. But this accessory is the Earrings of Rune. So with the Earrings of Rune equipped, we can no longer do our where am I going? Items. So I'm just gonna buy a bunch of good stuff. Buy the Mega Lollipops first. Just anything, and then I'm gonna... Oh, I'm out of money. Okay. I'm just gonna buy Lollipops for usage now that I have spare money. I'll do that before Chapter 16 as well. Second last chapter of the game. Yeah, you could get me to speedrun Kid Icarus even after I had that whole... This is a fun room. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is equip those earrings. So instead of having well, I'll show you what happens instead of that I get for giving up my getting my cool hammer, my big swingy hammers and stuff. Once I max this out... No more Umbran Climax, mech instead!
Wait, what?
Yep, that's what the Earrings of Ring do. You get a few seconds of the mech.
Is the mech as good as we think it is?
Yeah, there's a reason we saved up for it the entire game. Now, you only get it for like 3 seconds, but it's so worth it. You can wreak some havoc on non-mech bosses in 3 seconds.
So you spent $500,000 anti-heck dollars on 3 seconds of mech.
They were... Well, 3 seconds of mech every time I max out my magic meter.
So, like, 3 seconds of mech.
Yeah, it's worth it. Look how much damage it does. It just melts enemies, including bosses.
$500,000 anti-heck dollars for some of the finest technology in
Hey, to be fair, some of that was heck dollars.
That's fair. I'm okay with that. I don't think that they really are worried. Rodon's not really worried about the provenance of the money. He just needs the cash in his hand.
Well, specifically, he uses it to power up. He can use both because he's angel and demon.
So wait, is he Colin from Advance Wars?
I had Advance Wars as a kid, and I could never get more than like 3 chapters in, and I don't remember the story. Because that game was really hard when you're 12.
Yep, Colin has the power of money.
Give me that laurel, I need it. It's good not to care about money anymore. I mean, I still want it so I can buy more lollipops and maybe I can get some more max health if I get a lot, but it's really not that big of a deal and I will not be risking anything for it. I will be taking a shop trip at the end to buy whatever lollipops I don't have.
Yeah, just to back up. Yeah, Warsaw is mentioning that the Earrings of Ruin have sped up the run by about 7 minutes at the end for just the last 2 chapters.
Yep. They are ridiculous. Oh, okay. Well, goodbye, Red Hot Shot. I wanted to save that so I could have 2, but whatever. I'm just not dodging anymore. Which is not an intentional behavior. And with how fast hammer jumps fill your meter, you can be in the mech a lot.
Which it sounds like is very good because it makes you do the damage.
You can typically get out 2 combos in one summon of the mech, assuming you're on the ground when you use it.
Holy heck, the health bar is just disintegrating.
Yeah, that's why we get the mech.
All right, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, this is serious business in terms of just disintegrating a health bar here. And like Hammer Umbral Climax was doing nice damage, but that is in another tier.
Goodbye. Thanks for dying when I had 1 health, by the way. I appreciate you being a good sport. Demarine forgot to put herself on the layout, so you should go follow her, because she hasn't been being promoted this whole time. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There you go. That'll make up for it, hopefully.
Thanks, Hex.
Also, Demarine's good and does good stuff and is fun to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Space Cats, I can't take over. Take over. I can't keep talking. I'm blushing too hard.
Okay, I'm sorry. Alright, I have words. Definitely. Give me like 2 seconds to get my words together. Do.
Fine, I'm just gonna hit a child with... I'm just gonna hit a suspiciously familiar child with the hammer.
That feels not ethical, but we'll let it slide. Alright, so... Alright, so, Dr. B, whose beard we are trying very hard to save, actually made a D&D campaign, helped create a D&D campaign this year, titled Gardens of Fog, which acts as an allegory for dealing with anxiety and depression, and you can pick up a copy at dmsguild.com, and part of the proceeds will be donated to Take This as well. So that's another good way to benefit Take This, and also get something fun.
You should do that. Sounds good. We also have Ragnarok merch you can buy. It looks really good, and the proceeds from that also go to Take This.
And still on our bid wars for naming Mara, still tied. So if you are leaning towards Demi or Honk, feel free to throw some money at that bid war and help names happen.
Now, if you'll excuse me, my dear.
We're almost at the end of this run, by the way, just so people know. We're getting close.
We're getting so close, which means you're running out of time to pick a lovely, terrible game for Hex and so many of the Valkyries to play.
It doesn't have to be terrible.
It could be good.
So, here's an interesting
Okay.
skip, because as you may be able to tell by this treasure chest, the skip is 100% intentional. Oh, I didn't get the red hot shot. Give me that. Not going in without a red hot shot. It's mine. So that skip is actually... The fact that they put the chest up there means that they knew you could do that and specifically made it so that... so that's a dev-intended skip, unlike probably most of the other ones.
So, yeah, this fight was awful in Bayo 1, and it's not getting any better here.
It's not as bad as in Bayo 1. Bayo 1, you couldn't do that.
Bayo 1, you couldn't break out with a mech during that fight.
Worst game.
Mechs do make games better.
So, we're about to be done with this chapter, and there's a little fun fact for the next chapter. So what I'm going to tell you is that the next chapter, you basically starts out with this sequence where Bayonetta is riding on top of a biplane, and you fight, and you do this big sequence on top of the biplane. This is the last chapter, by the way. The biplane is a biplane, but there's a little Easter egg that we kind of accidentally get because the Star Fox costume is very good. Because it turns into an R-Wing if you're wearing the Star Fox costume. I forgot to there's a Rohan shop actually at the end of this sequence, so that's actually
Wait,
fine.
what did you need to pick? Oh yeah, you just needed to pick up your safety items for
I just need
safety.
more lollipops. I'm gonna need them because the final boss is really tough.
Worsel makes a good point that this is the best Star Fox game to come out in the past decade.
Well, it's this and Zero, isn't it?
Zero does live up to its name.
God, that game. Do you want to know the worst part about Zero? Do you know who made it?
Who made it?
Platinum!
Alright, look, not every Platinum game is good.
Well, here's the thing about Zero. Zero does a lot of really cool things, but Nintendo kind of forced them into using Switch gyro controls with the gamepad, and yeah, that was the end of that game being fun. Anyway, this sequence is really easy. You just kind of mash both of your attack buttons. So basically, you have the laser. Because we're in the R-Wing and not the regular ship, I need to mash that button because it does more damage than the targeted shots. But the thing about it is that, or the thing about the way this works is that, if you press the A button, you get a bomb. And the bombs are actually better than using Umbran Climax here, which does very little. And it only costs 1 bit of meter to get a bomb, so... so, you know, you kind of just mash them out. Using Umbran Climax is kind of a waste.
I cannot believe that Bayonetta is doing a barrel roll.
Yeah, here's the barrel roll that someone asked for in a donation like an hour ago. I think it was Leggy. Here's your barrel roll, Leggy.
Well, you're getting a boost from the barrel roll, so, like, everything's working.
I'm using the boost to get through. Oh, damn, I just took that big hit from the sword.
Oof.
Yeah, that does a lot of damage, and it's also really easy to dodge.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about games of this genre in general is that the bigger the attack, the harder it hits. But
Makes sense. It's hard to dodge. It's hard to dodge. It shouldn't do all that much damage, and if it's easy to dodge, well, you probably deserve to take a big hit. It's okay. This segment is still fairly easy, though.
I think it's fine.
I mean, it is. I might die in part 2 just because I have so little health, but since I have to go on that extra Rohan shopping trip anyway, I might just use the lollipop if I take another hit.
Is that all you've got?
Right, I didn't buy a lollipop. Well, I can use the red hot shot. I normally don't like to use that here because I need it for the boss, but I can just buy another one. So yeah, I absolutely adore this Easter egg, and I'm so glad it's just in the speedrun route. I was actually considering offering this as a donation incentive, but the problem with that was that before I kind of learned the new route, I was considering offering this as a donation incentive, but the problem with that was that where am I going to get the extra 100,000 to buy this costume? I kind of use all my money. And then it got routed into the speedrun, like months before this happened, but I hadn't learned the new route yet, so, and I looked at it, it's like, oh, hey, it's a good thing I didn't offer that as an incentive, because I need to do it anyway. I guess you could take off the costume. It's not actually that important at this point in the game, except for this sequence itself, because hammers can't, because it doesn't matter that much now that you're using the hammer instead of the other stuff. But it matters, it just doesn't matter as much. Anyway, remember this thing. We're doing pretty much the same thing again, but this time in an R-Wing. And we're just
I'm gonna pop in with a quick donation. From Dijon Ketchup, we have $5. And everyone should play a Pokemon trading card game because something RNG.
There's absolutely no RNG in that run.
I mean, again, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We have quite a bit to go. I want to say there's maybe 10 to 15 minutes left in this run. So people are really, if they want us to do this, they're going to really have to get on it. They do not have a lot of time left. Also, man, Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color is, like, way better than it has any right to be. Okay, where's that Rohan gate? I don't actually know where it is, but it's somewhere. I'm also going to break all of these. I'm going to grab some extra goodies. I don't care about the halos anymore. What I'm mostly looking for is, like, those last little things. But anyway, let's go to the Gates of Hell. Not the actual Gates of Hell, which we were at earlier in the game. I'm talking about Rodon's bar, named the Gates of Hell. Anyway, we're just gonna buy some goodies here. Buy this Red Hot Shot. Gonna buy this. Buy 3 of these. Gonna buy 3 of those. Buy 3 of those. Gonna buy 3 of these. Yep, okay, that's all the useful stuff. But that's okay, we're capped out on everything. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. This is the final boss of the game. It has a bunch of phases. None of them are particularly easy, but there's no but there. It's just hard. So something you'll notice is that if I'm firing at the end there, I get to extend my mech time a little bit. Which is pretty nice. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get through this first phase without lollipops, and then we're just gonna try to lollipop our way through the rest of them. The last phase is the easiest one as well. The last phase is kind of a cooldown, so there's 4 phases. The first one is tough, the second 2 are ridiculous, and the third one is, and the fourth one is cave. Oh, come on. There are checkpoints between phases if I wind up dying, though. So the first phase is an entire health bar. The second 2 phases share a health bar. And the fourth phase has its own health bar, but, like, it only has 1. Alright, so that's phase 1. Not too bad. Phase 2 now. Let's see, let's sort these things out. Let's put these, put them to the top. Oop, wasn't done in there. Alright, so we're going to use our Mega Invincibility. We're going to use our attack up. I'm going to equip the smaller attack ups. And I'm going to use one of these small purples. And now I'm just going to spend a bunch of time in a golden mech. And we're just going to melt through this incredibly difficult fight. Man, this fight is hard when you don't do this.
Man, this fight is hard casually.
This fight is ridiculous when you don't do exactly what I'm doing. It's not even the invincibility spam that's the problem, it's the mech.
The mech is very good.
So we'll do this again. Do this again, since we're already in this menu. And that's phase 2, so now just the cake phase. By the way, time is not at the end of this fight. Time is kind of weird in this game, actually, and I'll get to it in a bit. Anyway, this phase is just kind of, the boss just lets you kind of hit it a few times. That's phase 3. So, something I find very, very funny in this is pay attention to John when she shows up, because she will.
Wasn't she dead?
We went to hell to get her soul back, and she got better.
B-Dragon was asking, wait, you killed the boss with a dance-off?
No, we more killed the boss with what this is about to happen. Anyway, for whatever reason, John also gets a Star Fox costume. And I'm not entirely sure why.
That's incredible.
Anyway, Jean's gonna do a big roar, and like in the first game, I'm now controlling the final boss, and we're gonna aim the final boss into the dragon mouth. Which is a very similar sequence to the first game, where we aimed the final boss into the sun. And we had to dodge around the planets. It was honestly cooler in the first game, but this is still really good. It does not suck that these are unskippable. I wouldn't skip that for the world. But I would skip it for a few seconds of time save if I could. Alright, so we hit credits. Time hasn't been called yet. Time in this game is really weird, actually. Time is in the middle of credits. It's not at the end of credits, it's in the middle of credits. Why? The game's not over yet. Now, in Bayonetta 1, the game fakes you out like 5 times with fake credits. In Bayonetta 2, that doesn't happen. But Platinum likes to put these fight sequences at the end of their games in the credits. Now, these things are kind of weird. Now, it doesn't matter if I clear these or not. But what does matter is that I have full magic. After a few of them. These do count towards rank for the stage, but we don't care about rank. But the only thing I care about is getting that magic meter up. Why? The last one of these takes place on a plane, and once you finish that one, in the middle of the credits, that's where time is. Anyway, we get to do this fight with swords. Swords are really fun to use. I kind of love them, but they are absolutely egregiously terrible. I'm sorry, like, look how cool they look and feel to use, but they also do, like, no damage. This is why we only use them for this. And no, I'm not particularly trying to win this fight. I'm kind of just mashing towards the boss. It is... I'm not actually sure. I think it's important that I don't die in these either, because dying in them, I think, resets my magic meter for next time. I mean, hammer's really good, but swords are the worst. Also, you'll notice, if you notice now I'm holding red guns, there's actually an alternate gun. It's the red ones that are, as opposed to the blue ones. They play completely differently. They're a post-game item. You can't get them until post-game. Although there is a weapon I would like to show off, and I think, let's say if we can raise $20 more by the time this is done, so very quickly, just $20, I will show off the weapon I want to show off.
That feels like a perfect time for me to chime in with a donation. We have an anonymous donation with $7, and It looks like that went towards the upgrade to exciting for 8-bit hero. So we are only $20 away from that goal. So perfect timing, y'all.
Yeah, you have a couple minutes. You have like a minute or two after the run ends. So hurry up, but it's not impossible to get that donation in fast enough. You have enough time to get through the PayPal menus and stuff.
Also, this ending theme is really good.
I don't know a lot of Final Fantasy VII trivia, but if you do it, sure, I'll make up a Final Fantasy VII trivia. I've played that game once, and it was a long time ago. All right, so now I care, because this segment cares. Time ends on this part ending. That actually wasn't great. I kind of just mashed. Time. That's a PB.
Hey, it's awesome.
Oh, Margaret Ann chiming in with a nice $20.
Oh boy. All right.
Alrighty.
Thank
The
you,
comment
Margaret.
was BC question mark and then a smiley face.
Ah, yep.
All right, so I need to make up Final Fantasy VII trivia as well, because I promised. Did you know that Cloud's dad, uncle, actually was the original creator of Blitzball? He actually jumped through universes to Final Fantasy X to make up Blitzball. That's canon. It's not canon, but
He couldn't make a better game.
no, he couldn't. But his brother, his brother that was never brought up in the game, his brother actually was the inventor of Triple Triad.
Can you just show off some weapons, please?
Yes, I can. All right, so for beating the game on hard, we unlock a special weapon that you only get for beating the game on hard. If you may guess, as soon as you see it, this weapon is exclusive to the Switch port.
Is it a chainsaw?
Nope. So let's go pick up the weapon, and then we're going to equip it, and I'll just show off its moveset.
Hold on a sec.
Okay, so you probably did just see what it is in that menu. But I'm still not going to say it for... I'm not going to say it for, like, the couple of you that missed it. I also don't remember what was in that Witch Trial 1, but I guess that's where we're going to try to show it off. I just went back into the shop. It's a good thing the run's over. Because that was a terrible miss menu that didn't matter.
Congrats on your PB, though, Hex. That's your first ever sub 245, or...?
Yep. I am not a top player of this game by any means. Right, it's feet only.
I think the biggest thing is that, it's not all about being a tip-top player of the games that you play. It's about doing the things that you like. Right, so don't...
It is fun, though.
Right, so don't feel like just because you're
All right, so here we go.
Is it time?
It's time. Let's do some combat. See if I can even clear it with this weapon, because it's not actually very good. So here we go. We got a chain chomp.
Well, you pure platinum the first phase of it with the chain chomp.
Yeah, I didn't remember how hard it was in honesty. I'm actually going to go back to chapter select and give a little bonus. Because one last thing before we move on to the next game so we don't get too far ahead. This is a freebie. So I believe we'll leave the chain chomp on. I believe I unlocked this. I unlocked some other costumes just for No, okay, I have to go buy them. That's fine. I have enough money for more costumes. So we're gonna perfectly. So I'll tell you what. Chat.
Diplomacy.
Tell me, chat. Why don't you let me know which one you want to see? We can do Zelda, we can do Mario, or we can do Metroid. Up to you. I only have enough money for one. Ooh, it looks pretty even. Oh, they're pretty even. I think Metroid has a slightly
Yeah,
Mario?
I think Metroid's got the slight edge here. I think
All right, Metroid's got the slight edge. Ooh, I might not actually be able to get Metroid. What's in here? No. Yeah, okay, I can't get Metroid. Yeah, Metroid won out massively. So let's do Metroid.
heck yeah.
It was pretty even for a while, but Metroid did edge out the competition. So let's just take a look at the at this one. Unfortunately, the Star Fox one is the only one with specific Easter eggs. But now we have so we have this.
That sound design, though.
Now I'll just tell you about the others. So there's a bit of a unique thing to each of them. Fox and Samus both have unique guns. You know what? I actually can show off the other two because we do have time for that. So I'm just going to quickly show off the other two because I have my main save file. So let's just move over there.
I'm going to pop in with 2 donations real quick.
Absolutely.
Alright, so one donation was from me, Space Cats United, for $5. It was just to get that last little bit towards the 8-bit upgrade. And the second donation is Lil Sharky with $5. Wants a blindfolded Untitled Goose Game.
Thought I had all of them, but I guess I don't have... Oh, well. Okay, I'll just show off this one then. Do I have money for the others, maybe? So I can... No. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll just show up Zelda. So, I don't have Little King Zero unlocked. So, yeah, here's Link. And, we can even, right, I don't even know what weapons... Can even, some of the other... Let's get a sword out. If you equip a sword with Link, you actually get to wield the Master Sword. The one thing I don't get to show off here, unfortunately, is that, oh yeah, and all the... Look what happens to all the rings.
That is amazing.
The one thing I don't get to show off here is that if you put on the Princess Peach or Princess Daisy costumes, your Wicked Weaves turn into Bowser. Alright, well... I think that's enough off this run to get into the next one, so I think we're gonna... What's coming up next?
What is coming up next? We have...
Oh, coming up next, we have Lucifer Ring with Pete Dorr, and then Pete Dorr will be following that up also with Dr. Hauser for the next hour or so total between the two.
Awesome. That sounds like a great time. I've been Witch's Hex. I'll be back at some point to do something tomorrow. Keep tuned. It's Speedrun Ragnarok has been great so far, at least in my opinion. I may be a little biased as an event organizer, but I've been really happy so far. I've enjoyed all the runs, and we have less than 24 hours left of the marathon, so don't leave now. We got a ton of cool stuff left. As we all know, the last day is the most exciting, and that's going to start soon. So thanks for watching Bayonetta. Enjoy what's coming up, and yeah, have a good time.